I'm Liz McCange. I live in Edinburgh. I was born and brought up here. I live here with my partner Di and my 9-year-old son Liam. It was in September 2016. I remember clearly a friend had had a check-up. I thought, oh, I've never checked myself since I had my mammogram. I had my mammogram when I turned 50. So I checked and I found a finger-shaped lump. Prior to that, I'd had a really sore back for about 18 months. So I went to the doctor, as you do, got referred to the breast clinic, got told on that very first day that I had breast cancer, which surprised me, and asked at that time, I've got a sore back, do you think this could be linked to the breast cancer? I knew nothing about a secondary breast cancer. And I asked about my back, which had been my main cause of concern. And they said, oh no, it seems to be fine. We've done a blood test and it all seems to be fine. And eventually we went along to back to my GP. I had been getting physio and I'd been at the GP. There were some red flag symptoms, so she sent me straight to the A&E, and they did an urgent MRI, and I got told that evening by the doctor that I had tumours up and down my spine. There's almost a Liz before I had the diagnosis and a Liz after I had the diagnosis, and unfortunately they're really quite different people. It meant that I couldn't work any longer. I was a senior police officer, and I used to, for example, have command of firearms operations, and with all the medication that I was on, there was no way that I could do the job that I used to do, and I just wasn't fit to do the job at the level that I've been doing it at, so I had to retire in ill health. Probably one of the biggest impacts is my relationship with my son, because he was 4 when I was diagnosed, so he didn't understand any of it. Because it's in my bones, I mean, it's now all through my bones, and I've got a disability with my foot, so it's really impacted on my relationship with him and the way that I can play or really cannot play with him. I used to be a really outdoors person. I love my garden, absolutely love gardening. And that's all changed progressively over the last 5 years. So the biggest impact's really been with my son, but also with my partner. You know, it has totally changed intimacy in relation to our relationship, and it puts a lot of strain in your relationship. But thankfully, I think we've managed to work through it together. So it's a very difficult disease to find your way through and find a path through with it, the family. I always think about the future. You can't help but maybe in a different way to what I used to. I used to enjoy planning for the future and thinking years ahead, and thought of what I would do when I retired, but obviously that's had to be reined in now. So I was given advice that I think was good advice years ago when I was diagnosed, to have small, medium and long-term goals. And my partner's very much into that as well, and we try and have different experiences every month. So it usually ends up being a trip away, which is great. We try and have something to look forward to every month. And then of course my main benchmarks are for my son. So my first one was to be able to walk him to school when he started school, and I was able to do that. That was a great day. And now he's in primary 5, and I just want to be around from starting secondary school. In terms of looking into the future, I can't really look much more into the future than that, I don't think. Other than people that have secondary breast cancer, I have never met anybody that has known about secondary breast cancer. It's the big unknown, but it's just quite outrageous at this time in this day in society. You know, years gone by, women just died of it and it wasn't talked about. We need to get statistics, raise awareness, and find out, therefore, more about the disease, because there should be more of an allocation to money and research for the disease to allow women like myself in the future to be facing this with a chance of living for a lot longer, if not finding a cure for it.